Hi guys, it's Claire back with another process video for you today. The collection I'm working with is My Mind's Eye Jubilee Sherbet. As you can see, I've got the 6x6 pad and the 12x12 chipboard embellishment sheet. I've also got that yellow striped piece of paper and a 12x12 piece of white. They're both American crafts. Now I know on the back of this, or on the base of this layer, I want to do some inking, so I'm flicking through my ink swatch book and matching a green, so trying to find a green that works well with those papers, and I end up deciding on the little memento dewdrop in bamboo leaves. Now I pick up a scrap bit of paper here, as you can see, and I'm trying to decide how I want to get this ink on the back of on my 12x12. So I tried at first just rubbing the ink pad on, and then you saw that I just grabbed that baby wipe to see if I would rub it on that way. But I just like going straight from the ink pad and rubbing it on. So I'm really going quite rough, as you can see, just dragging that across and getting some ink down. In real life it's actually a bit darker. On camera there it looks a little bit pale, but it's actually a bit darker in real life, so I'm just getting some of that on there as a base. And this photo is actually quite a fun one. It's a selfie of me and my mum in the back of the car. We'd all just gone up, so there was my mum, my dad, me and Alan had gone up to a garden show in Kent. And we bought too much basically, so we literally had to cram everything in the car, me and mum in the back with all these plants. Obviously dad was driving, Alan in the front seat, and we were just filled to the brim with plants. They were in the boot, they were on our laps, they were in the front of the car, they were absolutely everywhere, because it was quite a funny shot. So I took a selfie and that was it. So I just wanted to document that. I've cut down my paper slightly, as you can see, and mounted it on top of my diagonal stripe, and now I've just gone over to my sewing machine and stitched around the edge, and you can see there I'm pulling the rough ends of cotton through, tape that down to keep it out of the way, and then I just rough up the edges a bit, run my finger around the edge just to rough up the edges to give it some texture. I like doing this. I think it's a nice way of just adding something to a page that isn't another embellishment, it's just something there. Okay, so now I'm flicking through trying to decide what papers to pull out. I end up choosing two papers just to mount I want a bit of a scruffy, sort of messy look to this. So I'm flicking through and getting some papers. I end up choosing this one here as the background to mount the photo on, but then I cut it down and end up actually flipping it over and deciding I prefer the other side of it. So I trim my photo down just a tiny bit so that it fits onto the 6x6 paper better. And as you can see there, I'm now working with a different side of the 6x6. It's not the one I first matched up, but I preferred that ombre look. So just stick my photo down on there, and then trim off the excess. And then I go back to the pad, I think, and pull out my larger layers. I choose this floral. I think it works really well. Obviously it's all about plants and flowers, so I choose a nice floral, and then I decide on a like a polka dot. It's a bit of a scruffy, messy looking polka dot that I go for eventually. Oh, here I haven't decided that I'm on two bits of paper. I'm actually still on one for a minute, but I do end up adding a polka dot. So I've cut down a doily and decided that I want that either side. And there you go, there's the polka dot piece that I end up adding as well. Okay, so it's quite a quick and easy layout to do this one. There's nothing too technical about it. It's just getting some colour down, getting some pattern papers down, and then adding embellishments. That's all there is to it. I just wanted, as I say, to get this fun photo in the scrapbook album. So I now open up the 12x12 embellishments, or chipboard shapes, whatever you want to call them, and start picking out bits that I like. I know that the floral needs to go on there. Obviously I like that flower. And there's a little arrow and it says, this just makes my heart happy, or sorry, just makes me happy, which I like. And the word awesome I think is perfect as well, and the colour's really good. You can see in the photo I'm wearing a bright yellow shirt, which goes really, really nicely with these embellishments. Now I make my ink background a little bit bigger. I decide that I'm covering too much of it up, So I just add a little bit more ink, sort of getting a little bit darker on the edges, and go a bit higher and a bit lower as well, just to add some more. Now I wish at this stage I think I'd done some ink splatters. I didn't do it, but looking at the layout now, it could have done with it, I think, but never mind, it's done. I put that on there. Then I'm using these blank coasters that I've had for years, which is basically just chipboard, and using that to raise my photo. Stick those onto the pattern papers, move it down just a fraction so you can see some green poking out of the top and obviously the bottom. Back in with the doilies. I'm not sure at the time. I peel the backing off so that it can be flat stuck, but then I decide I actually want it on top of the photo, not tucked underneath. So I cut down a little bit more of that chipboard or blank coaster, you know, and just mount that up a little bit so it sits nicely on top of the photo. Then I want to add the word awesome, and I'm poking out the bits from the middle of all the letters. I'm just popping that up on the top right. Peeling off that arrow one that I liked. And then just keep flicking through and pulling out anything that I think might work. I really do, I want to kill my kits at the moment. This is my thing. If I'm going to buy these scrapbooking kits, which I love buying, and you know, as you know, I picked up loads recently. I love buying the kit, but I must make the effort to actually use them, not just pick one or two pieces off, but go through and pull out a lot of embellishments. So you can see there I picked up another little yellow flower and put that next to the other flower. I've picked up some hearts, and now the camera as well. Anything that is sticking in that sort of yellow and green colour combination. I know the background papers have got some pink on there, but that's fine. That picks up the flowers. You can't see them so well on camera, but in real life, in the picture, there's some pink flowers there as well. But I'm pulling out mainly the green and yellow embellishments. I've now typed up my journal in and printed that out, and I'm just trimming that down. Now, I'm really bad at journaling. I wish I could write better, or I wish I knew how to get these stories on there better. All I've written is, we bought so many plants at the Kent Garden Show, the car was filled to the brim. That's it, which is a bit lame, isn't it? You know, I really wish that I could do that better, but it's fine. As I say, this was only a snapshot photo, and it's now in the album, which is good. So I stick those down, or trim them down a little bit still, and then stick those down underneath the photo. And I do go back over to the sewing machine and actually stitch through them so that they've got a little something extra. They're not too flat stuck. I'm using my Tombow Mono multi-adhesive just to get those down. As I say, I'm not using too much glue on there because I do stitch them down at the sewing machine. Okay, I found another embellishment I like. That's a little banner, and it just says perfect moment, and I'm just sticking those bits down. And the two hearts there balance out the colour either side. So the dark green heart on the left balances out the dark green from the camera, and the lighter green heart, or yellowy green, balances out the centre of those flowers from on the left hand side. I do like that light bulb embellishment that I just pulled. It says bright idea. It was perfect colour, and obviously it's quite appropriate that it's, you know, not such a bright idea, if you like, to buy too much and not be able to fit it in the car, but it doesn't make it onto the layout. I'm now using some Webster's Pages enamel dots and just scattering them around. I generally, when I'm putting enamel dots down, I spend too long deciding where they should go and picking them up, putting them back down again, and I've decided that I can't do that. I'm just going to stick them down, and that's it. Just pop them down and scatter them around. I briefly think about adding some of the pink as well, but don't go with it. As you can see there, I've now stitched through my words, and I'm cutting off the threads. and roughing up the edges a bit. Just tidying up the back. Right, now I've got my Heidi Swap date stamp. I'm just going to stamp that in VersaFine ink at the bottom and add the date. I'm just testing it there on a scrap bit of paper. And just pop that down there. And then I grab another date stamp, which is a Dear Lizzie roller stamp. It's got different words on there, and I stamp a few words just casually around the edge of the layout. And this is quite brave for me because I don't do this sort of messy stamping, but I see everyone else do it and I thought I'd give it a go, and I actually really like it. It's just random words. I think you've got remember this, the best day, and this was cool or something like that, but it just adds that black, sort of balances the black around the picture so it's not just at the bottom, and just looks quite fun. And that's about it really. So I hope you've enjoyed this layout. As I say, it's a quick and easy one, but a good way to show you how to just stick to using your stuff in a collection and not much else really. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.